Now
Yay, good
everybody,
morning. We have to
yeah,
let
we,
everyone. So
Morning.
Matt is so popular now that there's actually you have to watch a little bit of a commercial before you can even see the channel. So maybe right about now, people are just first clicking into the show.
Yeah, you got to collect that 30 cents, it's really good.
Woo. But yeah, now you guys can say good morning all over again. They'll hear you.
hey, 30 cents for now and $3 in 10 years. It's growth.
That's how inflation works. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, we got the great Maspy, we got Heidi, we got the Tesla
Hello.
Trekker,
Woo.
and then Danny's out there eating dessert right now. He's not home yet, so he's enjoying his sweets. We're gonna let him roll in whenever he can. But yeah, we're gonna maybe start with the Tesla Trekker to tell us what he thinks about the Tesla prize action. You want to go for it?
Yeah, good morning. Good morning, everybody. I just want to, I thought I'd start off with this. Danny Lee he's a really good Elliotician. He does exactly the same kinds of Elliott wave tracking that I do, Elliott wave theory charting, and he is still looking for the exact same. I had this idea for the longest time that whenever you get a triangle, well, I'll just do it on this triangle. That price enters this triangle.
You got to share your screen, Tracker.
Oh, did I not do it again? I'm
No,
sorry. Hang on a second.
do it. Yeah.
Oops, you didn't do it again.
Inverse Britney Spears.
Yes.
Yeah, Cat's imitating Britney Spears.
Well, I am Britney
Everyone's
Spears.
going just for that.
All right, I see. All right, I'm up now. Okay. All right. So
Are you up though?
I should be. I can see myself on my screen. You
I
see
think it
me?
was supposed to be in the window. Anyway, yeah.
No,
Oh.
but I don't think you're sharing it on this broadcast though, because I don't see it.
Oh, you know what? I'm so sorry. Yes.
Yeah.
I have my own restream in a different window. That's where I'm sharing.
I'll share the one that's not even broadcasting.
I know, right?
There we go.
There we go. Oh, I'm so sorry about that. Okay. So take two, everyone. Good morning. So Danny Lee is another Elliotician. I have a lot of respect for him because him and I come to a lot of the same kind of conclusions. He was looking for this path here where price runs is going up and then suddenly it runs down and runs back up again, then runs down. And then what happens a lot of times with these triangles is it might fake a breakout to this side, then come down and fake a breakout to this side, and then actually break out. And that's what I was looking for right up until I got into the mix with these guys, Cantonese Cat and the Great Matsby, and they kind of convinced me that price doesn't necessarily have to go down here. I'm not looking for this to run back down here to the bottom of this triangle again anymore. And in fact, when I look back in this triangle, which I'm kind of modeling, you can see this one runs 1, 2, 3, 4, and it kind of faints at coming down, and it never touches the bottom again. There's 2 touches on the bottom, and out it goes. And we got 1, 2 touches on the bottom. I think this is ready to pop out. So Danny's still looking for something, maybe even like towards 170-ish, and he thinks it's going to go sideways a lot longer, I suppose. And I love the guy to death, but he wrote 17 hours ago, "There's no happy ending in the market. There's only a small group of people bloodied and barely hanging on to life by a thread who will reap the rewards. Stop making Tesla a feel-good party. People are not buying cars full price. Personal savings have depleted. That's life. Robotaxi is years away. That's life. Just stop talking about it like Jesus' second coming and stop being so weak. Just shut up and take the pain. Return Tesla to its bloody days when real men held it. Till that day, more pain. The future is not here, because if it was, you'd be living it instead of talking about it." Danny's gone to the dark side.
That's so speciesist. I'm a cat and I also hold Tesla. Anyway.
He's gone to the dark side.
Yeah.
Yeah, but come back. It's going to be okay.
It's just a narrative, and they have so many more things going. They have energy that's really growing rapidly too. It's just focusing on narratives. I think it's just a mistake.
Yeah, just focus on the chart. I mean, and he's a technical guy, so I don't know why.
Yeah,
It
I have
won't
no
do
idea.
it that way
I think
too.
he tend to live in isolation, and
Look,
it's
I don't want to conjecture about the guy, but he's.
yeah,
I think what happened is just he's been beaten up by so many people,
yeah,
because
well,
he's stuck to his conviction that that price was going to exit
yeah,
down here one more time before going up.
yeah.
And
That's what I'm saying. Like, I think he's kind of stuck in isolation because he doesn't have like enough people to support him. And I think that's a problem when when you put yourself out there, you have to come with different scenarios and be able to communicate and build a community. If you're not, then it's really easy to go down the rabbit hole and get really depressed about the predictions. And
Yeah.
yeah,
that's true.
it's hard. Like this game is hard. I do not want people to be like
Oh
hard
yeah.
on Danny
It's
Lee. Like it's not.
yeah. In his last post, he said something about going to the 180s. I'm like, yeah, I can see 220s, and the 220s came, and now it's gone a little bit lower than that. But we'll see if that holds. So
Yeah, and you can also think about it too. Prices already started going down. Really been like a couple of weeks now. Even before the Robotaxi, I think people are already kind of front running the sell the news kind of thing. If you wanted to go with like the narrative thing, I mean, just technically,
Yeah.
it just got it got rejected where it's supposed to get rejected at. So what is what else is there to say? And now that we got rejected where we're supposed to get rejected, and we're getting close to a bunch of support, and then people are calling for lower. That's kind of.
So are you seeing, Tracker, like the outside of that triangle holding as support then, or what?
Yeah, look at it. I mean,
Yeah.
it absolutely has. Where it wicked down to, it just stopped right at the top of this triangle, and that could be all the support we need to just launch it higher now.
Yeah. So you don't see a need to go back inside right now?
No, not at all.
Okay.
In fact, because I think you and I have the exact same 38.2% fib. Let me see. I think it's on this copy of my chart. Like where price stopped yesterday morning was right here at this 38.2% fib extension. And this is an extension off of the, oops, not that one, sorry. I've got two things really close to each other. Here we go. So it's off of the 101 low to the 300 high to the 138.80 low. And then this is a 38.2% extension off of that, meaning a wave start. It's just doing from here. This is all of wave one. And then we have a wave two pullback. And then so far, 38% of this move is right here where we stopped. And that should be, it was a beautiful support. Even as price was screaming down towards it, that's exactly where it stopped, the 30.2%. And, my typical, what I love to see bullish charts is a run up to the 76.4%, then back to the 382, then on to the 1382. So I was thinking that this holding support at the 382 could be foreshadowing when it's support again at the 382. Sometimes, though, when you get this hard test of the 382 ahead of it, I think it actually can do it backwards. It's weird. Like maybe, like what I would have been expecting. Oops, sorry, let me turn this tool off. Let me just do this real quick. So, just roughly from here to here and there. And then turn these to the right side.
I'm not quite sure how to help you with that.
Yeah, me either. Thanks, computer. Labels right side. Wait. Labels right. That's my Alexa device. Let's see. I've got like three of them in here. So Jeff Bezos knows everything I'm doing all the time. 1, 2, 3.
Are your followers believing you that we are at good support right now?
I think so. I mean,
Yeah.
I showed it to them. I called it out to them the morning before it hit there. I said, this should be where it absolutely stops.
Yeah.
And so normally you'd get like 764, 382. Oh, wait, why does this look different? Oh, because I did the wrong one. Sorry. This is supposed to go this one.
And I got another follow-up question that are like non-chart related too.
Oh, sure. We'll go ahead. Let's just go ahead and talk about it while I'm playing with this.
Yeah. No, I mean, I'm kind of wondering. So you've been trading in and out of Tesla. You've been guiding your followers to do the same. The question
Yeah,
is,
that
I
was
think
it.
we asked about whether or not you have a long-term position in Tesla. You said not yet, right?
Not
Do you,
yet.
yeah,
I'm back in TSLL. I was really hoping that
right.
we would see it start to do this run up to 290
Yeah,
after the event, and it didn't. It went the opposite direction.
yeah.
But that's fine. I can just hold the TSLL until it's positive again. I
Are
think
you
we're gonna get a big.
gonna Yeah, are you gonna think that maybe potentially this is around the right spot, maybe to start like a long-term position or
Yeah, I
no?
think. See,
Yeah.
when with my price predictions, either we'll get to 290, 214, 412, or it'll bypass that. It'll go 417, 259.
Hmm.
And I think what I would do is I would probably do, sell my TSLL into the 417, and then go into TSLZ, and then see how far back it goes. And if it goes back to here, then switch back to TSLL, run it all the way up, and then when it gets like up to here in the 600s, then I'll sell my TSLL, and I'll just wait for the. Well, if it really did that, I'd probably do TSLZ there too.
So
Then
you're
I'd
not
buy
really.
Tesla. I go into Tesla right here.
Oh, okay. You're not going to buy it around support right now.
No, because I want to double my money first.
Oh,
I
you
double
want
that
to
money.
you want to get the exponential
I
gains
want to
from it
get
all.
the exponential gain
Yeah.
doubled first, and then I'll buy in, and then I can just
Yeah.
use that for position alone and never worry about it again.
And there is a comment about the cloud when it's twisted red, it indicates the lack of institutional support at the levels.
No, I wouldn't say that. It's just resistance.
Yeah, that's the 2-week cloud. Yeah, it's just averages of numbers. It's just math. It's not really. Well, we'll talk about institutional like whale buying
Yeah,
later.
Yeah.
yeah.
But by the way, like
the
Icarus
MC.
55, also known as Only Stage 2. He DMs me. He's actually a really smart guy. He deletes all his tweets because he likes to be private. I just followed you back. Please feel free to DM me. I love your stuff. Right. But anyway, keep going.
Well, so basically, I boiled it down to 3 paths that I see. And I put this. This is the pin post on my chart.
Yeah.
And so we're either going to get this blue path, the brown path, or the black path. And obviously, the brown path is the most extreme. I guess I should have put it in the third place. But if it doesn't stop at 290 the next time we go up, then it's going to go on to the blue path. If it doesn't stop at 417, then I know we're doing the red path or this brown path. So, and the brown path kind of makes most sense for me because it really looks like it corrects up A, B, C, and then this is like A, A, B, C, and so I'm looking for like a big, just a crazy violent move to the upside because what happens is demand price pressure has just been consolidating all this time, and just building up the pressure for sentiment to just explode out of here finally. And I think that the brown path is the one I'm actually kind of hoping for. And so far it's looking kind of that way because I went back to this, like I was just saying, holding this 1382 here.
Mm-hmm.
I need to wait. I need to bring that back.
What did you think about the Robotaxi event, or do you think it matters?
I liked the Robotaxi event. I thought the Robotaxis looked very cool. I loved like them showing the automation for the cleaning and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I love that, like right off the bat, he says, and you can buy it yourself for under $30,000. So it's like a $25,000 car, and they would probably make a version of it that has 4 seats, not just 2.
I think they should just make a retractable like gas and brake pedal and yoke like that goes inside when you want to just send it out on a taxi. Because then if you want to drive it yourself, you can. I think that'd be a cool option.
Yeah,
that would be kind of cool.
They also wanted to be futuristic and just like make it completely wheelless, and like that's what they're going for. And honestly, you don't with this day and age with the with like phones and things like that. And even with the screen, I bet you can drive the car just with the screen. You know, like it doesn't really. You
Yeah.
don't need like the traditional stuff to really get around.
Just take out your Sony PlayStation remote.
Yeah, or you just one day you just like raise your hands up and you pretend you're holding a wheel and you turn
Oh,
it
that's
and
true.
then it just
Yeah.
does it. You know, I mean
That's
it's no
true.
big deal. Yeah, like VR. You know.
Yeah.
I thought the robotaxi event was spectacular. Like I was blown away. And I think that people's response to it is almost laughable to me. I mean, it's almost like questioning like Gerald Ford or Edison or I mean, Elon Musk is amazing. I guess I'm one of those fanatics, but I was blown away. I mean, I understand people want it like some sort of timeline, more firm timelines. I mean, but have we do is there any other company or inventor putting anything else like this out?
Yeah,
No.
Kia. I'm just kidding. I mean, I don't.
He's definitely a visionary.
Right. No one. I mean, this guy is incredible. And yeah, I understand investors when it's sort of hard numbers and that sort of thing. But I mean, do you really rush genius?
Mm.
I was surprised. I
I
thought
mean,
there'd be
I'll-
some numbers too, and then that would have maybe made the market like
Yeah.
it better. Who knows? Maybe he'll put some numbers out for us on earnings.
But I
Yeah,
think
he didn't really give any like concrete numbers or concrete timelines. Like when he was kind of saying maybe at least by 2027, there's still a little bit of uncertainty, and then his timeline that he's given before has not really necessarily been met either, right? So it is tough as an investor to like get too much information from it if you already know what's happening. But for those people who didn't know, to actually see that, I think it's quite mind blowing. I also
Yeah, I
think
thought
that
it was.
yeah, and for people who like follow the fundamentals, if you really want to like buy whenever like the top and bottom line, the margin, when you if you want to buy it when things get really much better, like but by that time, I think it might be a little bit too late. You know, that's why we
Right.
also kind of follow technicals, right? Like, I mean, right now for the top line, bottom line, my margin, my well, they might as well have like troughed, right? I mean, I keep on making a comparison back into Nvidia when back in October to like November 2022, I keep seeing like a ton of posts going out there saying, yeah, inventory is like is the highest chip inventory there is ever. Don't buy Nvidia. And like
Yeah.
that's when it bottomed, right? And the whole narrative went on for like a whole year. Oh yeah, we still have like a ton of like chip inventory. Like and like
they just knew the demand, you know.
yeah, like it doesn't make sense. Like you can't just
Yeah.
look and just follow the narratives and just go with that. You have to think. You have to look at even if you don't believe in technical analysis, you have to look at the trend of the EPS. You look at the trend of the margin. Like is it starting to kind of bottom out? Are you thinking that this, you know, the worsening is over? Do you think that the bad things are decelerating? And do you think that good things are going to come? Right? And if Tesla is a cyclical stock, which it still is, you know, despite the fact that it's falling energy, despite the fact that it's, you know, got a bunch of other potential business coming, also services probably will be a big thing moving forward, kind of like Apple, you know. So I think eventually their business model is going to be more and more stabilized, and it's not going to be as cyclical. But like, are you going to buy when like things are bad but potentially turning good, or are you going to wait until like things are turning good again? Are you going to get with like a girl that you like, you know, at the early stages when there's hard times, or are you gonna, you know, like it's just anyway. Yeah, that's my take.
I like this
Yeah.
analogy. I think you need to go further down that path, Kat. This sounds like a great analogy. I thought that the cybercab, the robovan, I mean, the autonomous driving, I mean, this is just it was spectacular. And I guess because my background is IT, and I think these sort of innovative, sort of futuristic visions that he has is really difficult because anyone in IT knows that this little bug, this little thing really sort of changes. I think what he's doing with FSD, autonomous driving, what we're going to see in the future, and he laid that out. It was just spectacular.
Yeah.
And I think that investors who are really, really focused on the numbers of when is this going to turn into a profitable endeavor are really losing the bigger picture. Like you said, it's like, this is the bottom. This is like the time to get in.
Yeah.
And I was really, really surprised the 9% drop. I mean, it's crazy to me in stock price, but
Well,
hey, great opportunity.
But
I
look right
think-
here. It's just a test back to the top of this trend line.
Yeah.
This
Well,
was
that's
the resistance trend line for 3 years,
Yeah.
and then we got a breakout above it, tested back down to it, and this was support again, and then broke above it again, and now one more test back to it just because why not?
Yeah, that's what I
Let's
mean.
just
Like,
freak
it
us
was a
out.
perfect excuse to put it right back down to support to create maximum fear and panic and take your
Right.
shares, steal your shares.
Exactly.
Right. And that's,
Yeah.
from what I could tell on Twitter, and I'm very contrarian, I guess, because you could just see on Twitter the backlash and so many people saying, sell this stock, it's worthless, it's useless. And I love that. That's the perfect time for me to
Oh,
buy.
yeah. And I see even in the chat, people say it's a broken stock. But when you look at the technicals, it is like one of the most like amazing stocks that follows TA, in my opinion,
Right.
out of everything.
Yeah, and people who are worried about politics and they think that
Yeah.
the stock won't go up unless if Trump wins or something like that. I mean, I'm not here to talk about politics, but like Kamala Harris has been the president for like the last 2 or 3 years now, as far as we know. I mean, I don't know what I don't know what else. And they're also keeping the Trump tariffs, by the way. Like I honestly I think like politics is important, but like at a certain extent when it comes to like a transformational company, when it comes to a more mature company like what Tesla is, it actually probably matters less, in terms of who actually wins. But yeah, that I would say I would argue the same thing with Bitcoin. Like if like Kamala Harris wins, like she's been the president for like the last 2 or 3 years. Like if she's going to let Elizabeth Warren run things, like it would have happened already. But I think they also know that it's like a political destruction move. So like I'm not really that worried about the whole like election thing. But it's a good narrative. A lot of people are waiting until elections to buy. So yeah, I mean, I don't know like why they're waiting. Maybe just anyway. Yeah, I don't know what you guys think about that, but
Yeah, a lot of people are just going to hold their breath until elections. Just like sometimes people hold their breath into an earnings. They just look at the elections as like one more bit of uncertainty. And I always say that these kind of events, all they do is they just bottleneck all the action that was going to take place anyway. And like it just delays it. And then finally the day comes and everyone just does whatever the hell they were going to do in the first place anyway.
Yeah. Yeah, it's not going to change. The trend is still going to be your friend regardless. And
yeah, and we're definitely in an uptrend with Tesla.
Yeah, uptrend with everything.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, just look at this market structure that the tracker is showing you. Like this is a bullish market structure.
Yeah, from that January 23rd bottom.
Yeah. It's back testing the things that needed a back test, and it's been making for the most part more higher highs and higher lows than than lows,
high,
right?
higher low, higher high.
For the most
and
part.
Just since this higher high and this higher low, we just sort of been trapped between the two of them.
It's a baby triangle.
Yeah, here's a little baby triangle. And I think I could even predict that's probably going to do this. It'll reverse next week.
Yeah.
It'll tease another breakout, and then it'll jump back into the triangle one more time just to do another fractal of what we had here. And then, and it'll probably find support. I don't know.
Yeah.
Maybe it'll be a little longer than this. Maybe the support will be like right here on top of this cloud.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, makes sense. Yeah.
Something like that. Ooh, and that would cross the triangle both ways there to cross the top, then cross the bottom. People will be freaking out both ways.
Is this on daily or weekly? I have a triangle on mine as well.
This is 8 hour. I like to do usually the 4 hour chart or the 8 hour chart.
It's daily.
The candlesticks aren't too small.
Okay.
But the reason I don't use a daily chart is because then it obscures all the pre-market and after hours action.
Yeah.
And I like to include all that in my charts.
That makes sense.
Gotcha.
Interesting. That makes sense.
Yeah.
Heidi, you want to show your triangle to us?
Sure. I'll show you my triangle in a second.
And real quick too, there's like a comment about, have you people heard that the taxi was being remotely controlled or operated? I mean, I heard that rumor, but there's no need to, because I've been in Teslas that took me from point A to point B without even touching the steering wheel once, you know? So it's like, it's not even necessary to be remotely controlled.
Yeah,
I mean, in a sense, they are remotely controlled, but they're remotely controlled by an AI
Yeah.
yeah.
and backed up by the AI that's on board.
Yeah, I mean, what does it matter? I mean,
Yeah.
it was the neatest RC car I've ever seen, if that's the case. I mean,
Yeah. But there's
Yeah,
no
what's
need,
that?
because I mean, I'm sure we've all been in Teslas that have autopilot that took us from point A to
FSD,
point B.
right?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I would
there's
be
no
I would be a
point.
lot more worried if like some like 18 or 19-year-old intern like, you know, works for Tesla and just like drive cars and like for people remotely. I would be extremely concerned if that's what they're doing behind the scenes, but I don't think so. So I don't know.
Yeah.
All right, take it away, Heidi.
Okay, so I charted this weekly triangle. I don't know if you guys can see this on the screen now. Can you?
Yes.
Okay. Okay. And so I have a price target on the weekly of 432. So that's kind of really in line with, was that your trucker, your brown path? I can't remember, but so yeah, on my charts, I'm showing, we're outside the Bollinger Bands with a flat 21 EMA sort of flattening out here, or SMA, and we're outside of the Bollinger Bands. So, I mean, for me, this is a fabulous time to buy. I also see on Stochastic, where we have this difference between the fast and the slow, which is a really good place to buy as well. So for me, even on the daily, it looks really, really good. From a charting standpoint, I also, this candle right here, I mean, it's crazy. Like, you see the volume on this candle. Let me see if I can blow this up for you guys. The volume on this candle, and you can tell that there was, I mean, obviously there was more selling than buying because it wouldn't be red, but for the most part, somebody was buying those shares.
Yeah, somebody was buying shares. I can tell
Yeah.
you that for sure.
Yeah, because this candle right
Kathy
here
Wood
should,
did. Yeah.
right. Well, Kathy and myself included.
Yeah.
But that's on the daily. So I think for me, this looks phenomenal. On the weekly, let's see if I'll pull it up on the weekly here. I mean, a little bit less so, but we're just sort of hitting this 21 week. And I think it bounces.
Yeah. I think there could be more like a little bit of a wick in the early week next week, just to freak more
Towards the
people out.
bottom.
Yeah, maybe down towards 213 or something, just to freak more people out, and then
Ooh,
bounce.
that would be freaky.
Yeah.
Yeah,
how-
I've got 207, 208 somewhere
Yeah,
at,
I could
at
see.
the
I could see
50
that
week.
too.
That's
Yeah.
how it seemed like they wanted to do it, because like late market on Friday, there's still a lot of like downward pressure. So I can totally see that happening. I think the greatest pain though is that everything else went up and Tesla went down, and that's why people get so frustrated.
Yeah. Well, not
But-
everything.
Yeah, definitely.
Apple went down, and Nvidia closed down 1 penny. So
Right. But you're talking about like everything at
Yeah.
least like stabilized or went up a lot
Yeah.
more, or if they go down, they're gonna go down like a little tiny bit, and then like, Tesla just went down like crazy. So a lot of people are, yeah, it's a good sentiment to buy. Like if it goes down a little further on Monday, which it looks like it wants to, because yeah, like you said, there's like pretty huge volume selling, so it might extend into Monday, and
Well,
that
like-
could be a little bit awake. Yeah.
Also, almost on every time frame, there is basically support.
Yeah.
Around the 205, 67, 213, like almost in every time frame, from daily, weekly, 2-week, monthly. There's so much support down there. It's kind of ridiculous. So yeah, if it does go down there, I told myself I'm not going to buy anymore, but I bought more yesterday. And maybe I'll buy more on Monday too. I don't know.
Like the risk reward seemed pretty good. I mean, I was selling like a little bit of S&P 500. I was selling like a little bit of a SPY to buy Tesla. Like that's what I was doing on Friday late afternoon. So the risk reward down here just seemed to be like, not bad. I guess I'll just say that.
Yeah, it gets better and better the lower it goes, really.
Yeah. I don't
Yeah,
know.
I
I don't know.
agree.
Yeah, Danny might not be convinced yet, but
Yeah, where is Danny? Is he still eating ice cream?
No.
yeah, he's still out. He's still outside eating. Let me see. I mean, I'll check on with him. But yeah, Matt, you want to show yours?
Yeah. I'll just jump in here. Are you done, Heidi? I just want to make
Yeah,
sure.
yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
I don't want
All
to
good.
kick you
She,
off.
No,
she
you
showed her
guys
triangle.
have the best. Yeah, I showed my triangle.
Yes.
Yes, and none of us made any innuendos about
No,
her
not
showing
at
the
all.
triangle.
I could tell.
Yeah, very
Well,
respectful.
we can pretend you are Danny Cat and then go over his charts.
We might, but we can do that later.
Okay. So yeah, I made a long video, a longer than normal weekly recap video yesterday. That was about 12 minutes of Tesla, and the biggest takeaway from that is my monthly chart. How it was kind of obvious that resistance was the 50% on linear scale, and they just shot it straight down to support, which is they always kind of overshoot the fibs. Really, it seems like they did it last month, they did it again right now, going overshooting to the bottom of that 382, but still there's 19-20 days left in the month, so they can easily bring it back up. But the biggest takeaway that I said on my weekly recap is we have never seen anything like this in the past 3 years, right? We have never seen 4 consecutive monthly candles above the conversion and baseline above or in the cloud in the past 4 years. We saw 2 months in a row here, but that was kind of battling a resistance zone, and maybe 3 if you count that one. But we've never seen this right now, where it's building a base on top of a level ever since the top, right? And I think this is the formation that is really important, because if it's never happened before, then that's obvious is trying to build a base at a higher level to go higher, right? And that's what I think. So even if it did shoot down on a monthly time frame to what 208 or 205, I think it doesn't even matter still, because it's just a range. Like when you look at this chart from when I was talking about 230s 220s are going to hold to the current price, it's just like this tiny zone right here. In the grand scheme of things, it doesn't even matter at all. It's basically the same zone, really, right? And yes, most people thought it would stop around 220s, myself included, and it went lower, right? But of course, with this monthly Ichimoku, the bottom is 213. And just a few months ago, when I was talking about it's going to close the month above 213, it did, right? And that was like people were all happy now. Now that it's back there, people are freaking scared, you know? So it's
Yeah.
like
They don't want to
always
buy.
the
They're
way it
worried about they want
goes.
to sell.
yeah, it's just in a matter of a couple months, people went from super happy at 213 to panicking at 213. But it's in reality, it's just exactly the same as it was a couple months ago. Nothing has changed technically at all. It's like
Right.
they just shot it up 22% last month, and they shot it down 16%. It's still kind of like, would you classify or quantify that as like an inside candle, Cat? I don't know. Kind of.
Yeah, I guess it's a little bit outside, but it doesn't
Yeah.
matter. I think the concept's
Yeah.
the same.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think the monthly is where it's at. Even your fancy little 2-week chart.
Yeah, I think it's important to look at a 2-week chart, because we still have another week to go, right? So a lot of things can happen, and then even the last 2-week candle, it closed above, not close above, but a week into that 2-week candle from before, it was above the cloud, right? And then they decided to close underneath the cloud because there was a resistance. So right now they're kind of doing the same thing. I think we're just kind of like 1 week into this 2-week candle. We're underneath the 2-week cloud, get everybody all like freaked out, and I think it's probably going to close next week inside of it. That's my guess.
I mean, this is it could just easily turn into a wick, or even if it wanted to 205. But like I said, there's so much support on every time frame in that zone. It's just kind of ridiculous. And this is still looking more and more bullish over time. Like it's trying to build a base on top of this. Plus, like that bullish cross on the 2-week that we had a couple of weeks ago, or a month ago, maybe now, right? Right there. And ever since then, it's kind of been acting as sort of a support too. And right now, it's at 224, and there's a really good chance that next Friday it will be above 224.
Yeah, I always like to make the analogy that the 2-week Ichimoku cloud is like the hot girl, like Heidi, who's been like rejecting everybody for years. And next thing you know, like you just gotta keep being a good guy and keep trying, and maybe she'll let you into her heart. I mean, I don't know. It looks like it
These
might
are
be
some
what.
great analogies, Kat. I mean, this is like
Yeah, you should write a book about your analogies.
yeah, about stock analogies and hot girls. Yeah,
I hate
that
hot
you're
girls,
trying to
by the
date.
way. I have a
Oh,
personal
we know. We
oh
know.
yeah, I bet you do. but I think like I guess I see myself as like a fractal cat, so I guess analogy makes sense. But anyway, yeah, yeah,
Oh my
but
gosh.
yeah, but you also Matt, you also saw the Boomerang support band too. Like you were showing that to your viewers. Yeah.
Yeah, so I'll take off the Ichimoku, and yeah, it's a perfect back test of the bull market support band on. Yeah, we'll just go to the weekly chart here because same difference. But yeah, it's just wicking through his levels and it's holding the bottom of that band right there, which is around like what 217, I guess. So this is or 216.95. So yeah, this is just back testing a support. So no matter which way you think about it, all the market makers look like they wanted to do is just go down to test support in a hurry. They could create more panic early next week if they wanted to, but it's still the beginning of the week is meaningless because they could just close things back up at the end of the week and everything is normal again. So this is all I see is it's an excuse to retest support and maybe go through it just a little bit to freak people out.
And lastly, I want to see if you can show the monthly chart with the Bollinger Band. That would be my last ask, so that way I don't have to show my charts at all.
Lazy.
I am, yeah. If you wanna hire me, I'm gonna make you work. So like the whole thing is just like what you're saying. Yeah, right now the 20-month moving average, which is the median right there, is 217.62, and price is currently closed right above that. And just look at, like you were saying, that it didn't hold your fib level before. When it was up there, even though it closed 2 months about the 0.5. Well, it's because the 20-month moving average is still negative sloping. Like the bear market was not done yet. For the most part, there's still more like lower highs and lower lows. That's what the 20-month moving average is telling you,
like right here, yeah. It was
Exactly.
still not ready yet, yeah.
Exactly.
But now it looks like it's ready, yeah.
Yeah, because it did go back and back test the 20, but it couldn't hold. It broke down underneath of it because the 20 was negative sloping because it was still a bear market. And so
it back tested many months in a row.
Yeah, so it didn't hold, and then it kind of tried to go back up again and try to back test it again, and it failed again. Right? That's what happened really for the last for the entire 2023 is that you have a negative sloping 20-month moving average, and you try to back test it, you couldn't, and the next thing you know, you just end up filtering, end up probably gravitating back towards like the lower Bollinger Band here on the monthly, which is exactly what it did when price went to like the 140s. And right now, you've had sideways action going on for closer to 20 months now, and the 20-month moving average is curling up, and is serving as support over the last few months. And it's pretty obvious that whenever you see something like the resistance flipping the support and this positive sloping moving average, it's probably going to serve as some pretty decent support. Now, can it wick down underneath of that? It certainly can. There's no reason to think. I mean, these are monthly charts. Like the monthly candle can range a very, very wide range, and it can certainly wick all the way down to like $70. No, I'm just kidding. But it's right now the trend is telling you that it's turning positive, and the trend line, the 20-month moving average, is serving as support. So I buy closers at support. Am I going to time the bottom correctly? Not necessarily. I don't really care to do that.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I think it's going to be okay. Welcome to all the folks that are the usual suspects, like Vintage Low Gain Jules and everybody. Thank you for coming. And we won't be able to do any chart requests this morning. I'll try and do a live stream later on tonight, and we'll figure it out. Okay.
But yeah, this is just another confluence of in a support zone, and it even got to what did it get to today? 214.38. Yeah, so it even got pretty close to that bottom of that Ichimoku monthly cloud too. at the
Yeah.
T13. So there's so much confluence that everything around this zone should hold, and there should be no more panic. And I think the opportunity to really make things collapse was right here during this month. They didn't have to close it back above, but they did. And then the next month just took off. So it's a lot of building a base on top of this 20 month moving average. So this is a good development.
Yeah, things look pretty decent. And now that Danny's not here yet, you want to show his charts?
Actually, can we look at Bitcoin next? Because I feel like Bitcoin's kind of telegraphing what's going on with Tesla a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, if you want to go back to Tesla, or we could just finish Tesla and go to Bitcoin. It's up to you.
Yeah, I mean, I just want to I mean, like Danny's not here. We can wait until he shows up before showing his charts. That's fine too.
All right, yeah, good. We can take you to the Bitcoin chart tracker.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's do Bitcoin.
You ready?
I got my Bitcoin chart. Hang on.
Yeah. I mean, you brought it up, so you got to start.
I brought it up. I should get my.
Yeah, you're like, let's completely change course and just look at Bitcoin as I'm seeing something. I'm like,
my triangle first.
And let's have Matt do it. Yeah.
I asked you a question.
Same thing. The triangle looks a little bit different, but the story is the same. We've got it's a triangle with a descending trend line of resistance above and a rising trend line of support from below, and they're converging on each other. And eventually, it has to push it out one way or the other way. And it looks like it did a whole bunch of tests up here. I mean, really, the triangle was smaller and it kind of grew. But basically, we have 2 touches on the bottom. And let's see, I guess I've been playing around with this triangle a little bit. So originally, it was like this. And then this one looked pretty good. I guess I'll just do like this. Can't let any of the points escape the triangle. And so this one shied away from touching it, ran down here, came up here. And just like right now, it looked like this was going to run up and touch the top of that triangle, and it didn't. It ran back the other way. And so now look, it's telegraphing like it's going to come all the way down here. But I don't think it's gonna. I think it's trying to trick us, and it's going to break out. I think it might just do this. And maybe just a little back test to the top of this resistance trend line and then back up again. So that's like around 68,000 or so. But yeah, this has been really exciting. The Bitcoin's been going back and forth, back and forth. This kind of looks like a bullish W. I don't need this triangle anymore. Maybe we'll get this. It kind of already looks like it's got the little. It's starting this little W wick, which looks like a bullish. It's flagging for higher, and then it'll come up to here and make a little flag, and then up to here, and then flag, and then come up here, and then like test back down, and then take off. So I'm excited. I think maybe we'll get one more. Maybe Sunday we'll get one more sell off into the week. But the miners look really good.
I love miners.
They're starting to front run Bitcoin just a little bit, I think. Yeah, I think we're very close to breaking out here, much like Tesla is. Now, of course, it's already on top of its triangle, but it made this other triangle here, and I didn't think it was going to touch back here. Is the thing. I thought it was going to stay up here and push out, but I guess Tesla wants to wait until maybe after the election, after all. Well, at least after the earnings on October 23rd, Wednesday, October 23rd. But all the miners are doing great. Here's MAR on the 4-hour chart. Yeah, I feel like it's bottomed out.
I can show my MAR chart as well.
Yeah, please go ahead and show anything you want.
No. You start first, Trucker, since you're already up.
Somebody was asking about CLSK. Here's CLSK. I was looking for this one. Give me for a second. It looks like I wanted this to be a. Yeah, here's your wave start. Here's your wave 1, 2, and then here are my
This is on Clask.
Yep, Clean Spark, CLSK.
Yeah, Tracker's just going to go through all the miners now.
No. Well, I just wanted to show you how good CLSK looks because somebody requested
Yeah.
it too, and
Yeah, it looks
you
good.
know it should go to. I thought it would go to 764, 382. What it did instead was it stopped at the 618 right here, and then it went lower than 236, which kind of concerns me a little bit. But maybe it just needed to buy some more time while Bitcoin was trying to figure its thing out. And this is sort of like a wider extended flat of the wave 2. But my next target is still going to be 1147 up here next, the 1236, back to 1030 and on to 1430. And that's just the smaller version of this, though. A much larger version of it. Clean Spark goes all the way to 22. It's just going to go 5 waves up, 3 waves down, 5 waves up, 3 waves down, 5 waves up, and then we're at 222, 24.
Yeah.
Sorry, I could go chart after chart. But yeah, I think I'm excited about Bitcoin again. I mean, I was excited last week, and then it ran down, and I think this definitely looks like a flag on the 1 hour chart.
Yeah.
Right there. What am I using?
I like it. I like it squiggling.
Yeah, me too. I like a good squiggle. This one looks better than that one did.
Yeah. For those folks who want a Danny update, he's still outside. He's still not home yet, but we have his permission to show his Tesla chart here in a little bit, and we can butcher it later. But anyway, we can keep talking about Bitcoin.
And this one is a very important support resistance for Matt and me. 61,757, and it was like sort of support, then it was resistance, sort of support. Yeah. It fought over it a while, lost it, and then it was just momentarily of resistance before it decided to just go for it. And so, and like inside of this, like that, yeah, this was yesterday, I think. Yeah, it was Friday morning. I was watching it, just kept setting my alarms off over and over again. It crossed over back and forth over this purple line of 61,757. I think we're done. I don't think it's going to have to go back to it again. That's why I think it's going to break out.
Yeah, like everybody was, when I kept on posting that 50% fib level at 60,485, everybody's like, well, what about 57? I'm like, well, 57 has already been hit numerous weeks in a row. Like, before. There's no need to go back there. And sure enough, that 50% level just was a wick through, and it just held perfectly. So that would be a support. And I think the more price closes above 62,400 around there, then the more that's going to be, because that would be 4 weeks in a row that would close above that level. And then if that's the case, then I think this is kind of ready to do maybe what MicroStrategy is already doing. You know,
I know MicroStrategy seems like it's front running at Bitcoin as well. Yeah, like they know something that we don't.
Michael Saylor is a genius.
It's very important because I think MicroStrategy is also able to tap into a lot more liquidity too. Just because they're listed everywhere, like they've been listed, ever since like the .com bubble, and you can get easy access to play MicroStrategy, like option strategy, everything now. It just seems like the whales want to gravitate towards MicroStrategy during like early and mid cycle, and maybe late cycle because it's a leverage play. Maybe they'll end up using US Elixir liquidity. So I would be a lot more worried if MicroStrategy is starting to show a little bit more weakness compared to Bitcoin, which is currently not the case. So
it's not the case. I got MicroStrategy.
And what about Mara? I think we should also talk about Mara, which also is modeling MicroStrategy's strategy, where they are hodling Bitcoin.
They are, and then it's an important thing to think about too, because the miners really seem to be late popping last cycle as well, right? I mean, Mara really made this all-time high like late 2021 when MicroStrategy had popped around like January, February 2021, right? So I think money's just going to end up probably rotating around. I mean, we can talk about that for sure. We absolutely going to let you kind of take over here in a little bit too, Heidi. And you can't show everything you want to show.
Do I get to run the show?
You can't show anything. You have to take me into consideration. But anyway.
Oh, right. I know you don't like when I show sexy pics, right?
you just gain us another like 1,000 views. Stop it. Anyway,
we're definitely very bullish on MicroStrategy as well.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. You
I've
want to
got
go for
Good
MicroStrategy
segue.
going
Good
Yeah.
to
segue,
We'll,
Tracker.
yeah. We'll let Heidi
576
take over
next.
after that. Yep.
So anyway, anybody else can take it away if they want.
I
I'll
think
show Mara.
Heidi. Yeah, I'll put you on, Heidi.
Heidi's
Okay.
ready.
I'm ready.
I closed
I'm
my
ready.
eyes first.
Am I
Let
up?
me.
No, you got to share your screen.
Oh,
Yeah.
I'll let everyone peek
Did
at
it
my
before.
Bitcoin
I thought I
chart
was.
while he's
I
doing it.
thought I was.
Yeah, my Bitcoin chart's going to 94,000 next. And see, that's like, oh, now we just got Heidi's chart. All right, go take it away, Heidi. Sorry.
Well, this is just Mara. This is on the daily. So I think we are going to pump. I mean, if you look at the Bollinger Bands here, how much they have squeezed. Let me show you guys a full shot here. How much we have squeezed.
Oh yeah, squeezy,
From
squeezy.
squeeze really big time. And then we have this nice descending wedge here. And that's on the daily, I believe. I have that. And so I'm showing, this is on the 2-week. I like the 2-week as well with Cat. And I'm showing a price target with this descending wedge of 43. But even better than that, I have this 179.84 through this like inverse head and shoulders pattern that you guys see here. Hopefully you see here. I guess I should have marked
Actually,
it.
I still just see the 1-day chart.
Ah, sorry.
I'm imagining. I can totally see what you're talking about. Yeah. There you go.
Okay.
There's
Can
the
you guys
2-week.
see now?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. This is, you were imagining it. Okay. Okay. So this is the falling wedge that I was just talking about. And
Yeah.
I have like 43.37 as a price target for that. But right here, you see this nice inverse head and shoulders on Mara. I have a 179.84. Of course, we'll hit some resistance points through that, but yeah, these charts are looking great. Even on the let me show you guys on the monthly. Can you see my monthly?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, great. Yeah, so I'm still showing this nice inverse head and shoulders that also resolves at the 170 range. So heard it here first. Mara
Yeah.
to 170.
Yeah. To the moon, you mean?
Yes, Mara to the moon.
What do you think about
Let's
the
hope.
whole? What do you think about the whole dilution narratives that's been kind of thrown around for miners, and also that they say like Mara costs a lot to mine and blah blah blah. Like, what do you think about all that?
Yeah, well, I think dilution with miners is definitely a concern, but like we've discussed last week, as long as they're adding value, for me, it's not as big a concern. I do think that Mara put out some numbers yesterday. I believe I posted about it yesterday, where they did not do as well, as they were expecting over the last few weeks on their Bitcoin mining. So I think it's something that's a concern. We see the other miners who are um, sort of doing the HPC and sort of branching out. But I think if we're specifically talking about Mara, I think Mara has a great strategy. It's definitely one of my favorite miners. I do think that dilution is always going to be a concern with miners, but I still think that value is there and it's something worth investing in.
Yeah, I think a lot of people also don't remember. I mean, like they were diluting all the way down during the bear market too. You know, it went down to what like $3, and it went up to like 30 something. You know, on dilution, it just made a
Well,
10x.
just in the nature of Bitcoin with the halving, I mean, it becomes harder and harder and harder to mine Bitcoin. And so, but I do think for the larger miners, that actually is going to work out to their benefit because, everything is going to have to become so much more efficient. And we see that with Mara, with CleanSpark. We see, even from what they were estimating as their hash rate, they're exceeding that. And so even their target lines of 2025 different hash rates, they're mostly for the most part exceeding. And I do think that that's just innate in Bitcoin because of the halving. They have to become much more efficient, constant. And so it's sort of, the Darwin concept of winner takes all.
Yeah, but it's like the same thing whenever things are hot. Like for example, whenever everybody wants Bitcoin, and currently that's not the case. A lot of people are calling for lower. A lot of people are not really wanting to be in. Just like if you go to law school or you go to med school, like what do they call the medical student who was like last in class when he graduates? They call her a doctor, right?
Right.
It's gonna be a
No,
she
that's
because
true.
she's last. But anyway, I'm just kidding. But but yeah, I mean, like, it's a yeah. It doesn't matter when you need healthcare, when you have like litigation, you need somebody. You're still gonna want it, and they're gonna end up getting picked. And I think whenever euphoric sentiment, wherever there's really like a huge demand for it, a lot of people are gonna look into, hey, so who have the machines to mine more of this stuff. Currently it's looking into dilution. A lot of people think dilution just like phantom money disappearing, but like that's not the case. These are high growth, high risk companies. Instead of getting in like huge debt, they are diluting you. That's what like a lot of the higher risk companies, they're high growth are doing. If you really want to think about the narratives of that. But that's also a reason why I think when the IWM or Russell 2000, the small cap stocks, that are more likely to be susceptible to like liquidity crunches, and they really need to have lower yields to really get their debt better controlled. Like that's why I think like IWM or Russell 2000 still hasn't broken out yet, and that's probably a reason why a lot of these stocks are not doing very well. And you just had a Friday where IWM just decided went beast mode, right? Like went 2%, and all the miners just popped like Mara popped like
10.
5% because
Yeah.
like
I
it
mean,
said, like
almost
bad
at one
news.
point at 10.
Yeah, it was 10, and then like you have CleanSpark who like shot up more than
Mhm.
10%. Like it's and right now IWM is still pretty far away from his previous all-time high, which is I think like in the 240s. Right now it's only 220. So I think once the market really flips more euphoric, which is when IWM turns to make its all-time high, I think these high debt, high risk companies, they're going to do pretty well. That's kind of what I'm thinking. Yeah.
Yeah, and I think don't mitigate the fact that, these data center operators, I mean, these are very large data centers. So they are also not just with Bitcoin mining, but providing some of the AI computing space. I mean, Mara's already gotten into that, CleanSpark, Iron. Um, I think that there's a lot of value there. And I think with MicroStrategies, it's just Bitcoin, and it's just sort of front run Bitcoin, where I think we're going to see in the next year, like you said, with IWM, with some of the smaller players. I think these miners are really going to burst. So where are you going to see the most growth? To me, is going to be with the miners.
Yeah, and the current miner price action is actually pretty promising because I think they're trying to grab your liquidity as much as they can while waiting for global liquidity to continue to rise,
Right.
to push price up higher. Like this chat is not about like Bitcoin, because if you don't know any fundamentals about Bitcoin, you're like, what the heck are these guys talking about? Like, why are we talking about Bitcoin? Like it's a scam, whatever. Like we're not even here to argue the fundamentals anymore, because I don't think Bitcoin's going to zero. I think there's a lot of potential use cases for Bitcoin, but we're not even arguing about that anymore. Global liquidity, if it rises, Bitcoin is even more cyclical than Tesla. So you're going to end up having a lot of liquidity being poured into Bitcoin if global liquidity is to rise. And that's it. That's really the end of it. Like I don't really need to talk about fundamentals of Bitcoin or anything like that. It's not. And then you're looking into like the leverage plays for Bitcoin. You can go for altcoins like Mad. You can go for miners like Heidi and I, and maybe Tracker. Or you can do MicroStrategy like Danny. But that's really kind of the things that we're going for. You have different flavors you want to play it, and different things can pop at different times.
Or you can do them all.
You can do them all. Yeah.
This is true. This is true.
Yeah.
Especially with the ETFs like BitX and IBIT. And,
Yeah.
They're not really performing that well, though, in my opinion, comparatively.
No.
I think
Is it the daily reset?
maybe it could be that, but the charts that I see on like IBIT and BITX, it's just they're still battling like resistance. But I guess Bitcoin is still too. It's just MicroStrategy that's basically breaking out.
Broken out.
So,
Yeah.
yeah.
Front run Bitcoin.
Mhm.
Yeah. Matt, do you have a chart or 2 or 3 or 4 or 5 to show?
Well, yeah, I guess I can do Bitcoin real quick, and then we can take it away with Danny's charts, I guess.
Yeah. He's not here, so we're just going to butcher it for him.
Yep.
Mhm.
So yeah, this is the Bitcoin chart. The 50% level that I was talking about the whole time was at 60,485, and I said that's going to be support, mainly because basically it's going to be 4 weeks in a row that is going to close above it, and I think it still wanted to maintain that trend, and exactly that. So when it was like going below it, everybody's like freaking out. It's going to go to 57 or below again. I'm like, I don't think so. There's
Yeah,
just
the
lots
miners dumped right there.
yeah. And there's
Mhm.
like that was the bottom. Like you could see even on the miner chart when price was down there for Bitcoin, like the miners were just at support, almost all of them. So that was the opportunity to snag them up. And sure enough, it just recovered. But the main thing I'm looking at for Bitcoin is that green level here, which is that green GAN level, which is basically a previous resistance flipping to a support. And that's the most important thing to me, besides any fibs. So all I want to see now is continually building a base on top of it, which it is, right? 1, 2, 3, 4. So if Sunday night closes above it, that'll be 4 weeks in a row. And that will be a confirmation to me that I think it wants to go higher. Plus, this body of this candle already made a higher high from this wick over here too. So that is technically a first higher high. So I think this is set up to start trending higher and higher and higher and follow suit of what MicroStrategy already did. So just one level at a time, and it's getting above this one. The next is going to be getting above like the 70,000 zone right here. And then once it's kind of above 71, 72, I think it's ready to go. It's ready to go that to
There's
like
no resistance points.
yeah, ready to go to 80, maybe higher. I mean, we could use that same fib extension just to see. Yeah, it'd be ready to go to 82,226 easily. Like in maybe 1 week, you could probably just do that in 1 week. So,
Yeah. But the ETF is making it less volatile, right, Matt? I mean, look at how when the ETF came out, it's just kind of gone sideways. Yeah.
yeah. Super. That is so accurate. Yes, I agree.
No, I'm just saying, like it's
Yeah.
it's like a narrative that's been thrown out there. So
Yeah.
yeah.
But yeah, I'm with Tracker, with everybody else, that this is now looking like a really positive chart. This is kind of like how MicroStrategy started out too. It started just breaking one level at a time, and then it started building a base at higher levels. And this is exactly what Bitcoin's doing. So what do I see next? I want to see 62.3, 62.4 hold as support right down here, and continue to build higher and higher. And I think that is going to happen in the future. So anybody that's panicking, all you got to do is look at this chart. You can see all the layers of support underneath. Nothing is bearish about this chart at all. It's going to go higher.
Yeah, we have that flat. I mean, that flat 21 SMA, and it just got above it on Friday, right?
Yeah, it's
Right,
essentially
on the
the bull
daily?
market support band. Yeah, it basically it's trying to stay back above it.
Yeah, there it is. The bull market support
Yeah.
band.
There's a ton of support between here all the way down to like 59, like and there's a ton of support, and we
Yeah.
basically all the supports before they're all like separated. I don't know if you guys watch like the what's his name? Man, I'm like blanking up. Anyway, like apes, individual weak, together strong, like all the support levels from a few months ago, they're all kind of separated out from one another, and then now they're all bunched up together. Like and price got back above of it and is back testing them all. So
Yeah.
I think that and even the bull support band, like it's turning from like negative sloping to a little bit more flat to positive sloping.
Yeah.
So all this is pretty promising. I mean, like I can't guarantee there's going to be another liquidity grab that goes down to like 57, 58K. That all that is entirely possible because the cloud is still down there on the weekly, right?
Yeah.
But it's still looking like it wants to hold this level, and I'm gonna feel more bullish if we end up closing the week above these support zones. So especially if you already have like 2 weeks like you did over here from last week and this week, that's bullish. Like that's bullish. And right into like a huge support zone. That's bullish.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, there's nothing that I don't like anymore about Bitcoin. So I've always was cautious in this zone, but now I don't think there's any more need. Anytime it goes below, I think that is the opportunity to get in and not fear. But every time it goes lower, you always get replies from people saying, "Oh, but what about 57? Oh, what about 55? What about this?" Like, well, if you keep saying "what about," you're never going to buy. And if you never buy, you're going to miss out. And that's the same with Tesla. Like people are like, oh, what about 20? What about 180? What about 160? What about 0? You know, it's like, yeah, you can fear all you want, but if you have that mentality in stock and trading, then you're never going to make money.
Yeah, I mean, if you keep on asking, just like the dating world, if you keep asking, "Am I good enough? Am I good enough for her? Am I good
You
enough
are,
for her?"
Kat. You are. You are good
and
enough.
but if you keep asking that, yeah, you're not going to be good enough for her because you have that doubt in your heart.
Well, and she'll get annoyed.
Yeah, and it's
Yes.
okay.
Yeah.
It's
Yes. You
okay.
have to love yourself. You have to love
Yeah.
yourself before she will love you.
Yes, exactly. And it's okay to put yourself out there, and it's okay to be an idiot, and it's okay for something to fail because it's okay. But if you're constantly thinking, "Oh, it's gonna fail, it's gonna fail," it's gonna fail. Like you're not,
Right.
yeah, you're not gonna buy where you want to buy at, and you're gonna end up like chasing something else.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
yeah, like you don't want to do that. You want to put yourself out there. You want to put yourself in a good mental state. Even shower, maybe. You know, and then
Showering is a good thing, as we've discussed. So is lavender.
yeah, yeah, maybe, you know, and just put your best out there, have your best mental mindset. Look at buy things that support, you know, and don't get bearish at support. None of this is financial advice, by the way. But Matt, where do you think
Except
it's
for the
gonna?
lavender. Except for the lavender.
I do have anyway. Yeah, I will get some lavender lotion. I'm not going to tell you how
Yeah.
I'm going to use
And
it. But
Chanel. And
yeah,
Chanel.
Chanel. I never get Chanel. I would never get Chanel.
What was your question?
Yeah, how high does the cycle go? And the same thing goes to tracker too. How high do you think the
Well,
cycle goes?
this is a base, and this is the large one. This one goes to 2 million.
That's what she said.
Yeah, 1.9.
Oh.
Well, 1.9. I'll round down. Yeah, 1.9.
My
The
5-wave
bigger
cycle
the
goes
base,
to
the higher in space.
Yeah, but that 2 million could be by 2033. So, just to let people know.
wow. Awesome.
Yeah,
That
Yeah.
sounds like a plan.
yeah,
Yeah.
10 years. A lot of people. Yeah, I mean, I think it's a long duration thing. But just look at your chart. Look at your GAN. Like it basically just went back and tested the arc, and it found support, you know, perfectly at the arc, and it bounced and gravitated back up towards the horizontal there. And right
Yeah.
now it's testing that support again. It's testing a support for many months, and
Yeah.
it looks like it wants to keep holding. A lot of people say that whenever you have a support level that get tested so many times, you're at risk for like breaking down of it. But I just think that the global liquidity doesn't really support that
Well,
thesis here anymore. So
Not when it's a previous resistance. Like when it's a previous resistance, then it's just building a base on top of a previous resistance. But yeah, if there is no resistance that was there before, then it could break down easily, I think. But a previous resistance trying to flip to support, I don't see that as bearish at all. This is just something that looks glorious and magnificent and gorgeous and beautiful and all those things, you know? Yeah.
Yeah. And for those people who think that it's impossible for Bitcoin to make like a 10x, you know, within whatever period of time, Nvidia just made a 10x like from the 2022 bottom, and its market cap is like huge, you know. And you're talking about Bitcoin, um, it's you know, it's like its own class of assets, if you will, and there's more institutional rolling in. Some people say it will stabilize the price. No, I think the volatility is still going to be there. Do I think it's going to make a 10x cycle? No, like that's not. I think that's ridiculous, you know. But it doesn't matter. I still think that it's going to go up higher, and I don't know if it's going to stop at like 100,000, like some people are calling necessarily. Like some people that I really respect are calling like, you know, the top may be closer to like 100,000. They don't see the bull market have enough liquidity to kind of push higher. I don't know. Like the longer we're basing here, the more I think that we go higher, like much higher.
Yeah. And my linear scale GAN is actually telling the whole story right here. It's really telling what's going on. It's just bouncing in between the arcs the whole time. And like the last couple of weeks, it's just getting rejected by the top arc. This week is also included. So the linear scale is really telling a story, which also means that orange level is the target, which means 69,150. That is really the target for launch mode activated when basically candles start closing above that. And that means the 45 would be next, like somewhere in the 80s, which also matches that fib I showed you guys. And then the next level here sits around 138. So basically, it could just go really fast up to that 138. Since linear scale is not exponential, it could go to these levels very quickly, right? The log scale is the exponential where it's really far apart. But this GAN on linear scale is so perfect, especially back here in 2017. This angle has been amazing as support. You know, it's just like you can't map something out better than this, I think.
I
Yeah.
think that volatility contraction pattern that I see like on the weekly, and that is just a beautiful setup. That is my bread and butter.
Yeah, I think so. So let's see. Next week, that arc will be
Well,
around.
what's the
64.
week close tomorrow?
Sunday, yeah. 8
Sunday,
p.m.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
So if it can close above 64.6, then that'll start building a base maybe on top. But as you can see, the trend it's been resistance. So once it can get to the top side of that arc in the 64s, then the 69s will happen pretty quickly. And then we'll see if that can ever get flipped to a support sooner than later. And then once it is, then I think it's game on for Bitcoin.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Yeah, and a lot of people saying that. Oh yeah, but we've been saying this for months. I'm like, well, I mean,
Well, look at this pattern. It's
Yeah.
a big, gigantic bull flag.
yeah, I mean,
So-
yeah, it's I mean, I started my
It
YouTube
really is.
channel, and I started my YouTube channel in like February. You know, when things are getting a little bit more euphoric. I think like right now I'm getting the same views over the last like 8 months. I think like I can't imagine. I think like I think your account's gonna blow up. I think my account's gonna blow up. I think like Heidi's account's gonna blow up. Tracker's account's gonna blow up. Like that hasn't even happened yet. So
yeah,
Yeah, I have like the little bitty teeny tiny account. I like it that way.
you'll get there.
well, I mean, yeah, with what you said today, you know, with the charts that you're showing, you know, I mean, I don't, yeah, you get there.
And see, like I even made Bitcoin warning videos like around here, and I'm not making those videos anymore because I'm really excited about it. So I think what the time to be cautious was when it was near the resistance, but now that support has obviously held, it's just trying to break resistance above and then go higher. So no
Right.
more cautious, Matt. It's full on bull, Matt, especially when 69,000 gets broken.
Yeah, you're throwing like the Great Depression in China into the mix. You're throwing the Japanese yen carry trade into the mix. You're throwing like, you know, international warfare into the mix. You're throwing, you know, a bunch of stuff going into the mix. You're throwing, oh yeah, rate cuts is always gonna set up recession into the mix. You're throwing all these things in the mix, and this is the best they can do. Like it's
Did you guys see this morning? I think China put out that they were going to be throwing all this money, all this new liquidity over the next 3 months as well.
Yeah, Chinese, like whoever's saying Chinese stocks are going to go down is wrong.
They-
I've actually
Yeah.
been buying Chinese stocks, and I've always talked bad about them. We're like, nope, I'm buying JD, I'm buying Futu, I'm buying all that stuff. So
It does seem like it's bottomed.
yeah,
they've been
Yeah, no doubt.
they've been pouring liquidity in for months now. They're just now announcing it after the market.
Yeah, they
pump.
announced it. Yeah, this
Yeah.
morning they announced, I think, or
Yeah.
last night or whatever.
Yeah, we're
And,
probably gonna
go to-
hold off on chart requests today, guys. Sorry, I'll do a live stream later. If you want to join it.
So Danny's charts now. Since
yeah,
we were
let's
gonna
go Danny's Tesla charts. I'm gonna
Yeah, we're
try
gonna
to do my
back to Tesla.
yeah.
Yeah, you're gonna just take a couple
Copy.
breaths, transform into Danny real quick, and let's get going.
Hello, everybody. Good morning, good evening,
morning, Danny.
for everybody. Who
Hi, Danny.
hi
Miss you.
hi Heidi. So this is what happened, man? Oh, so this is which chart is this? The daily? Can you show the daily, Matt?
Yes. this is actually really good.
I really like the voiceover. Yeah, keep going with that.
Oh, hi, no, anyway, yeah.
one.
So as you can see, the yellow candle on the daily chart has really been playing out. The accuracy of I'm surprised myself by sometimes by how the yellow candle plays out. It, it's amazing. Like, you just look at the yellow candle, which is in the context of the whale accumulation really decreasing here on this time frame, and the whales were leaving, and they were leaving because of the robotaxi event. They want to sell the news. I don't know, but like the yellow candle really played out very well, and the yellow candle also went into like the middle of the red ribbon, which actually is a warning sign for people who want to get warning signs from my charts. So am I doing a good job?
You are doing an excellent job.
Yeah. So you see that whenever it broke underneath the yellow candle price from Thursday, you can see that it broke underneath a very important support level at the volume shelf over here. And once it closed below that, it was at risk, and also at the bottom of the red ribbon. And once it closed on Thursday underneath that on the setting of the yellow candle, this is no surprise. This drop, the yellow candle is playing out now, and then this is why I'm supposed to come in and say, well, but Danny, you're right. But look at how far this candle currently is away from the red ribbon. Right now it looks like it probably would want to retrace back to the red ribbon, right, Danny? That's right, Kat. That's a very good point. So whenever things get a little bit too overextended, kind of like how it was a few months ago, like over here, whenever things get so overextended, it probably want to get back to the ribbon, but right now we still don't have confirmation. We would really like to have some confirmation that things have stabilized. There is still a volume level, support level down below. I can't really see the exact level, but I think that we might be getting close to support here. But I need confirmation here on the daily chart. The MACD has rolled down. The RSI is rolled down, but the RSI looks like it might be getting a little bit oversold here. But I still need confirmation, guys. Yeah. So that's my Danny impression.
What does your weekly chart look like, Danny? Do you have his weekly?
Yeah, Matt, do you mind pulling up the weekly chart here?
Okay. Yes. Yeah. Look at that RSI on daily. It's like 39. Right. It's really
way oversold.
That is bleak.
Yeah.
Where's my weekly chart, Matt?
Oh, yes. Here it is, Danny.
Okay.
So as you can see,
no yellow candle. That's good. No yellow candle.
Yeah,
no
a red candle.
this week.
We have the red candle. What are you talking about, Danny?
No, but I mean, like we were worried maybe this would turn into a yellow candle this week, but it did not.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
So
but we have the red candle.
Yes, the red candle is still valid, right, Danny? It's still valid.
Yes, Matt. Yes, Heidi. The red candle is currently still valid, and right now, like, price just got rejected off of that volume shelf above, and the red ribbon is still expanding, so the bull trend on this time frame is still intact. So there is some concern with the whale accumulation seem to have dropped significantly. You do have retail coming in to buy the.
That was me. That was me. I bought the
dip. Yeah, you have retail coming in buy the dip, but the red ribbon is still in place, and the red candle is still valid. You don't quite have the MACD bearish crossover yet. Even though the RSI is pointing down, the weekly candle close is still not quite halfway into the red ribbon. So right now, it still looks like it could be a short-term bull trend based on looking at the weekly time frame. So, and I'm going to be silent here awkwardly for a little bit.
Well, are you concerned, Danny, that there is 25% retail just in 1 week over week?
That was me.
Well, yes, I think it's good to have some caution, but you also have to look at different things. I think that the red candle is still in play, and the red candle was built on well accumulation over the last 2 or 3 months, and this candle here looks bad, but I still think that the bullish signal is still intact, and there's still not confirmation yet. The well decreasing and the retail increasing, this just 1 week. There's no trend, So I need to see a trend, and the trend over the last couple of months, or last few months, have been going up. So I do think that there is reason to be cautious, but not too cautious, because the red candle is still in play.
Yeah. And what we could see, I think, in my opinion, Danny, is like it's something similar to this red candle, how it did just continue and build a base at a lower level than the red candle. So it still could build a base at a lower level from this red candle and then shoot
And
up
then
higher.
boom.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah. Right, Danny? Is that correct, Danny?
Exactly, Matt. Exactly, Heidi.
I like it.
Yeah. So yeah, I don't know. I'm done playing. That was terrible.
No, it was very good. I was actually thinking I was talking to Danny.
Yeah.
That was great.
Danny's fired. Danny's fired.
Yeah,
We're just gonna use his charts.
Yeah.
Only because you think all Cantonese people are alike. That's why.
Oh, that's mean.
Well, Danny, since we have you here, can we just jump into Palantir then when you're still here, or?
Sure. Do you? Yeah. Do you have my Palantir charts?
Yeah. I
Wow.
sure do. Here we go, Danny. Here's your daily Palantir.
So what do you guys see? Is Garcia here?
No. I saw a tiny yellow candle right here, and then a boom red candle that was really valid, and boom, boom, boom,
A
boom,
boom
boom, boom.
one.
So
Dan would say that the red candle is still in effect.
this time frame is daily, yes?
Yes.
Yeah, so you're seeing that Palantir over the last year, it's been doing this. It has the yellow candle, and then it just kind of goes sideways and consolidate. But the red ribbon, as long as the red ribbon is intact and there is no retail, I think it can go up higher. And currently
I disagree. Danny, I disagree.
you disagree. Oh, Heidi, what do you think?
In the short term, I think we have a little reset. Sorry, guys.
Well, we can. You have charts. We can share.
I do have a chart.
We can share your charts after Danny.
Yeah,
we'll
listen to Danny. Okay, go ahead, Danny. Sorry, I'm sorry, Danny, for interrupting.
Oh, no, that's okay. That's okay, Heidi. Yeah, we love to hear your voice. Anyway.
and 92% daily whale accumulation is still pretty strong.
Exactly, Matt. So I think that right now the red ribbon is still unfolding to the upside, and we are a little bit too far from the red ribbon. So having some pullback, and it would not be surprising, And even the RSI is still a little high, so having some pullback is not surprising to get closer to the red ribbon in the short term. But really, at this point on the daily time frame, there's really not much resistance above anymore on the volume shelf. Like we are kind of going into new territory here without much price history here. So I think that it's hard to predict, because I don't have any more information, but than what we have here. But I do think that volatility can happen, but the red candle is still valid. So the whale accumulation is still strong. I don't trade in and out on this daily time frame. I mean, I think I hold for a long term. So I'm just going to let it ride out, and any short term volatility. What do you guys think?
I think that a pullback is possible, maybe back to 40 or so. But I think that kind of might be where the top of the ribbon is too, maybe around 40.
Yes, and Heidi, I would like to hear your thoughts.
Well, I will gladly show you my chart. Let's see here. Am I sharing? Can you
Yeah,
guys see
sharing.
mine?
Yeah,
Okay.
let me get it. Yeah, there we go.
Yeah, it would probably hold off on doing the weekly, just in case if anyone wants to come in
Yeah.
later. But yeah,
Okay, so here is my Palantir on the daily. And as you guys can see, I don't like this candle. I don't like this candle right here.
yeah, I
You know
agree with
that
you.
doji? Yeah,
I
that's
agree
a
with you.
nasty doji up there.
Yeah,
I also do not like this double kiss. So this is this bottom. I'm going to pull this up here. This bottom is my stochastic. And when I see a double kiss like this, where do we normally go? Just like we saw over here. We normally go down. And so short term for me, I actually might have a bearish put spread. Just don't tell Garcia.
no, I think he's fine. Like I could totally see him like trying to sell some cover calls and things like that. Yeah,
Yeah. So I'm just talking about in the short run. Just
yeah.
short run, guys. I love Palantir.
I,
But in the short run, I think this is way past due for a retest.
I agree with you, actually, Heidi. Like I made a post, I don't know if you saw it too, that I think Palantir could have, a couple of like red days coming. But like that, I'm not going to sell.
Yeah.
Because,
Yeah.
the higher time frame still looks pretty excellent. So
Pretty
I'm not going to
nice.
sell. Yeah, yeah. Like
Yeah.
whenever you have like the weekly and the monthly Bollinger Band look like they want it, like the lower Bollinger Band look like they're just not even contracting a bit at all. Yeah, it looks like the weekly, if you can see like the lower Bollinger Band, it looks
Wait,
like
let
it
me get
wants to keep going. It looks like the volatility wants to keep going, and it looks like price is still wanting to impulsively go up over time. It's probably going to end up dragging the lower Bollinger Band, or at least like stabilizing. I'm not worried about the downtrend really coming until the Bollinger Band starts to contract, and it's still kind of like the lower Bollinger Band is just like flat. So I still think that
Yeah.
I still think
I see it.
this thing still has room to go up on the weekly time frame. Same thing with the monthly, actually. If you can go
Switch
to
to a
the
monthly.
do my work, be my mat. There you go.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'll be your mat.
Look at
Okay.
the lower Bollinger Band, and it's like it's gonna be all the way down underneath right there. It's expanding. It's expanding.
Okay.
Yeah, like
Okay.
this thing wants to go up higher. It's
No, I
insane.
agree. I agree.
Yeah,
For long term, I mean,
yeah.
Palantir to the moon. I'm with you. I'm worried a little bit about some of these volume, and these candles don't really match up for me. Like I really liked it back here.
Yeah.
In February where, I'm seeing this huge amount of volume and this
Yeah.
nice candle here, and I'm seeing a lot of selling. And I mean, that's obvious. I mean, from the increase that we've had over the last month,
Right.
2
But
months is crazy.
But
Yeah.
look at the monthly volume. Last 4 months, boom, 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 boom. It's just
Yeah, it's
been going up.
increasing.
Yeah,
No, it is increasing.
yeah.
But the
I mean,
candle size is not, and that's what I'm
yeah,
concerned with.
yeah. That's true. And I don't have any dispute. Like, let's say if it goes down 10, 20, 30%, I would not be like, surprised by it. But and a lot of the volume could also be like the S&P 500, like the index fund rebalancing, all that. That's already been done. So if we're counting on that volume to come into buy as buy pressure, like that, those are not there anymore.
Mhm.
The issue is that the trend is now up, and that
Mhm.
you're going to end up having two phenomena that are going to take place now. One is retail is going to chase, the other one
Mhm.
is retail is going to short. You either have one or two possibility here, and then you have the monthly Bollinger Band is now expanding like this on
Mhm.
increasing volume. I think this thing has a lot more like room to go up higher over the next 12 to 18 months. I don't know what's going to happen the next few days. Matter of fact, I agree with you. I think that is very much a possibility that it could
Yeah, I'm gonna
go.
flip to the daily again, if you don't
Yeah,
mind.
yeah. The
Yeah,
volume
so,
is
I mean, when we
decreasing.
see
Yeah,
we see this doji almost outside. I mean, it's an inside candle, but it's almost outside of this Bollinger Band here.
yeah,
Yeah, I like this for a pullback, but, I mean,
yeah.
we have one. Yeah.
So you are one of those brave souls who short a bull trend. It's not easy to do. It's extremely difficult to do, and A does the same thing. I'm like, you guys are like cowboys. It's
No, he
extremely
is so
difficult.
much more aggressive than I am.
He
He's so
is.
much more aggressive. Yeah.
He
No,
is.
I'm looking for like a candle, a beautiful doji. And yeah, so A'll just, I mean, he has some insane levels. I would love to hear what he has to say about Palantir. I don't know where A's hiding out.
No, A's just been busy. I think he's just been
Oh,
busy with life.
Fox is here though. Fox just joined.
Oh, yay!
Hey,
Yay! Hi,
hey, Foxy.
Fox.
Oh,
Foxy Fox, Red Fox, are you there?
I hear a 1920s radio static just now.
Oh,
And
good.
it's not me this time.
Yeah.
I thought he was blowing something up, you know, from the videos. Maybe he's blowing something up.
either this is like an alien broadcast from like the 1950s or like I don't. Yeah, you there?
Red Fox.
I guess not.
No. He
Yeah,
probably
that's okay.
blew something up. Maybe his microphone.
Yeah, maybe he's blowing Palantir up. That's what he's doing. I
A
don't know.
pocket dial.
That's what 90-year-olds do. That's what they all do. Yeah.
I'm looking at this weekly. The weekly is not as bad as the dailies. So again, you know, on the longer time frames, it really, I mean, this is on the 2 week though, Kat, and we have decreasing volume,
Yeah,
right?
but
But we
you
haven't finished. How many days do we have? 6 days left.
yeah, so you still have a lot of time left for this candle finish, and the Bollinger Band, the lower Bollinger Band is expanding to the downside.
Still
I
going like in that crocodile. You and
right,
Danny
it's
like to
still
talk about the crocodile
exactly.
mouth.
Exactly. So
Hmm.
unless if the lower chin of that crocodile decides to kind of, close a little bit,
Start closing.
start closing a little bit, there's still no like real exhaustion on this time frame on the bull
But are
trend.
you not worried about this Bollinger Band and the
I
price
I
being
am, but
extremely?
I'm also worried that things can just go up on the upper Bollinger Band. Like this is basically like the wave 3. And if
Okay.
you look at Bitcoin too, like you can close above the upper Bollinger Band on Bitcoin on a bull market like 8 months in a row. You get punished for it later. You're pulling years of valuations ahead of time, and you get punished for it later. Like I don't want to
Okay.
get into a way whenever, and this is not like me mansplaining because you're like okay, like this is not like an absolute
Okay.
statement because I
Okay.
don't know what the
Okay.
heck I'm talking about. God, stop it! I don't know. I don't know what I'm talking about.
Goodness.
But the whole thing is it looks like it wants to go up higher. Like the last time when the lower Bollinger Band expands like that was when was back over in June of 2023, right? And when it starts to contract is when you end up going sideways here for like August 2023 for a while, but it's still expanding, like the lower Bollinger Band is still expanding. It looks like it's just starting to expand, right? So usually the way I look at it, like if you look at the monthly, I
I
always
can
like
flip.
to think about it this way, right? Tracker always talk like wave 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I always like to correlate this the same concept into Bollinger Bands. You have the wave 1, which is the initial up to turn the 20-month
So
moving
over
average.
here.
No, actually, I would say like the bull trend. I would say like it started around like late 2022, early 2023. Yeah. So
Okay.
so
So
you
around
have
here.
the wave 1, right? And what does wave 1 do? Well, it turned the 20-month moving SMA from negative sloping to positive sloping, and it hits the upper
Mhm.
Bollinger Band. But because the Bollinger Band is tightening usually during this wave 1, you're going to get some resistance, and I think China is doing the same thing. Like China is at wave 1, going into wave 2 right now.
Mhm.
You're basically flipping the 20-month moving average from negative to positive, and that is the end of wave 1. Wave 2 is a corrective sideways. You're going to end up just correcting the move while the
Mhm.
20-month moving average continued to curl from negative sloping to positive sloping, which is exactly what Palantir did, right? And then whenever you end up having a positive sloping 20-month moving average, that allows you to finally have have the trend change. And at this point, you need volatility. Like wave 2 is the volatility that shakes you out. to make sure to get you out of your position so they can go higher. And I think we already had that. We had the move that made all the way like in August of this year, where it made all the way from like to $21, right? That's the volatility that we needed to really push wave 3 to go up. And right now, wave 3 is happening and the bullish band is expanding. And I've been talking about it for like almost like a whole month or two now, that I think that this, like, you don't want to get in front of this trend, because this could be very similar to like the bulk of the Bitcoin bull market, where it can just go irrational for like months and months and months at a time, because I'm seeing it based on cycle analysis, based on from that perspective. I think Palantir has more room to go up. It doesn't mean that you're not going to have a month that just kind of goes sideways and down like 20-30%. That's entirely possible. But like if you look at this monthly Bollinger Band expansion, and I don't know if you guys remember, like Matt and Tracker, I was talking about this before it happened. Like I don't, you don't want to get in front of this. You can short the short-term moves if you're brave like Heidi, if you're brave like A, but I wouldn't want to get in front of this. So
Well, let me just say that I own a ton of Palantir in my long-term trading account. I do want to point out from a volume price analysis. So if we come back here and we look at November of 2000, we see this volume pattern, and we see what that resulted in as far as for, this is our effort, this is our result here. So we see this fabulous candle. And as we sort of come along here on the time frame, if we look back at November 23, we see there was a lot more selling. Same estimate of volume, a lot more selling. And for this month, we're sort of getting around the same amount of volume, right? And this candle doesn't match. So for me, from a volume price analysis, this looks like a lot of institutional selling, or at least much more so than has been.
yeah,
Well, there's
but
still 20
the
days
month
left.
is only October 12th too, right? So
Well, that's true. That's
yeah,
true.
so you can imagine
True.
if you add if you use that volume candle times 2 to close the month, it would actually be pretty decent volume still. But
That's
I
true.
agree,
I didn't
I
take that
agree
into
with you.
consideration.
But the one thing too that is very important to think about is that the S&P 500 has gone up on declining volume over the last couple of decades.
Okay.
You have to
Nice,
keep in
nice tidbit.
you have to keep in consideration, like people saying that yeah, I agree with downtrend. If you have like a declining volume on downtrend, or if you have like a capitulation on downtrend on volume, I agree with that. But things can go up a lot higher on low volume. Like all of the Bitcoin rallies, they end in declining volume. Like and things can go up a lot higher in declining volume, right? So even if you have one single candle on declining volume, it doesn't necessarily mean too much, because the momentum is there. That's what the Bollinger Band is telling you. The momentum is there, and now the institution has set up the momentum. The retail is going to either chase, or they're going to end up shorting this
Right.
for a longer term, and it's just going to probably add more fuel to the fire. I think it's going to go up a lot higher based on what I'm looking at right now.
No, and I agree with you. I'm just saying that, from, I would like to see this candle here. Woo.
Yeah. No, I mean, I think, but I
Good
think you're
morning,
right.
guys.
Like, again, I'm not disagreeing with you. Hey,
Is that
Oh,
Red
he's
Fox?
back. Yes.
yeah. No,
Oh,
Heidi, I'm
there's
not.
our Palantir.
I'm not.
Morning,
I'm not
Red.
disagreeing with you at all.
I had to put my headphones on.
That's what
Ah,
that static was all about, huh?
good
Who
morning,
Yeah.
is all
Seth.
here today? Good morning.
Yeah, Danny is still outside. I mean, we're gonna anyway. It's
We have Danny's clone.
we got Tracker, we got Matt, we got Heidi, and we got this cat over here. So good morning to you.
Excellent. Sorry I'm late, guys. I was up again late last night. Did you guys
Blowing
see
stuff up?
my? Yeah, no. Did you guys see MicroStrategy?
Yeah, we talked
Oh,
about it.
we talked about it. Come
Wow.
on, you're late to the party.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
crazy.
So that stuff is going to continue to happen over the next 6 to 12 months.
And Clean Spark, right, Seth?
Is that a
That's your
Yeah.
baby.
is that a guarantee right there, Seth?
That's a threat. That's
That
a
is
threat.
financial advice. That is
That's a threat.
financial advice.
I think there's a threat. I think there's a threat of that happening. Like
Yeah.
it's a warning sign from Seth that this
Yeah.
could be happening.
Shorts beware, I guess.
Yes,
Yeah.
short beware. We're
What
watching
a-
out for you.
What a week in the market, though. I mean, it's pretty awesome. I can't
Yeah,
wait
had a
to see
great
what
week.
happens. Post-election is going to be lots of fun. No matter who gets elected, we'll see what happens. But the Tesla event was just off the chart too. I love that.
Yeah, it's just
Who's getting chased by the police?
it's
Yeah,
probably
that's right.
Red Fox.
I live downtown.
Are they
In-
coming after you?
In the jail
Do we need-
downtown.
Yeah. Do we need to? Do we need to plan your escape, Seth?
Yeah, I'm being arrested as we speak.
What did you blow up?
Palantir and MicroStrategy. That's what he
I
blew
blew
up.
I blew up the Nasdaq. The Qs
Yeah.
are just on fire.
See, I knew he was going to that direction.
Yeah, that's what he blew up. I'm gonna switch to the 2 week. I like the 2 week way better than that. Yeah. that looks
Yeah,
nice.
but the 2 week is showing you the same thing. You know, there is
Yeah,
a little bit of
where the
decline in
mouth is
volume.
expanding.
Yeah, there's a little bit of decline in volume. You're absolutely right, and it can the next 2 weeks potentially be like sideways or red. You're absolutely right. It's possible, but like I think the higher time frame trend still looks good. So if you
Yeah.
want to trade in and out of it, I think your strategy is absolutely great. You know, look at this stochastic, look at everything else that you're looking at. That's perfect, right? But I think it's just hard to short a bull trend because the margin of error is just a lot smaller to be able to make money from it. So
Yeah, no. And I'm a perma bull, so I only ever really short on a daily, and it's very, very short time
Yeah.
frames.
no, I'm applauding you for being brave and for being like surgical about it. That's I'm
Yeah,
actually
yeah,
not.
yeah,
Yeah.
and if I lose on my money, can you reimburse me?
Mail. But yeah, Matt, Tracker, any thoughts on Palantir charts?
Well, I think if Danny's still there, we can show his weekly chart to show that there's a steady
Danny's tired.
increase of
No.
whale accumulation too. Week over week, there was a bigger
Yeah.
increase of whale this
Oh,
week.
okay.
Too. This week.
Yeah. So we just leave it as that because I think Danny's not here, but we can just tell you guys, there's still a steady increase in whale accumulation. We'll just leave it as that. So
Palantir
guys
to $100.
Do you guys have Danny's weekly though? Can we pull it up? Or
You wanna
just
see
look
it?
at it? We don't have to
If
talk about it. I
Danny-
just want to
if-
see it.
If Danny wants to
Matt.
show it, Danny.
Matt, would you mind showing
Oh, hey,
Wait,
Danny.
does Matt have all of Danny's charts or what's going on? here?
No.
Well,
so
Danny doesn't know how to use technology, so therefore he sends his charts to me so I can show them. Yeah.
Okay. Well, I would like to see Danny's weekly on Palantir.
we
Well,
have
you're
to
gonna-
ask him. We have to ask him ahead of time what we want if we're going to do a show.
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah, so it's not like we have his access to his proprietary stuff. No.
No, but
Maybe-
yeah, whatever charts he shares with us is what
Right.
I have.
Is what? Okay, gotcha.
Right. Maybe one
gotcha.
day when he hires me, and I just like work for him, but not today.
Or adopts you. He talks about it, being
yeah.
adopted.
Here's
Oh, yeah.
here's the Palantir with a whopping 98% whale accumulation
Oh,
this
you
week.
do have it.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
it's a larger whale accumulation than last week, and that is bullish.
Okay.
Yeah.
Very nice.
All right, Danny, take it away. Come on. What do we
Hey,
do?
is there
Matt,
a point
maybe-
where there's too much? Like, is there a point where that second panel goes to 100 and they start selling off? Or
There
no?
is. I mean, I think
Yeah.
even like with A, he looks at the whale accumulation. Like you can get the same thing with the what is it, MCDX Plus, which is also proprietary by like the Total Trader. You can like A actually sometimes use that a little bit as like a contrarian signal. Like whenever it gets too hot.
Too hot?
Yeah, whenever it
Okay.
gets too hot, he might. Yeah.
Like this happened right here. You saw it was like a steady decrease of these candles, and then boom, a lot of retail joined in, and then whale accumulation with that giant
Okay.
August 5th candle right there. So yeah, if you see
Right.
it decreasing, then possibly you can see more retail enter 1 week, right? But right now you're seeing it increasing. So this is like the exact opposite. So I would be a little bit more cautious of like trying to short or whatever, in my opinion, because it's still trending up. It's not trending down like we've seen before.
Yeah.
Okay. I
That's
see what you're saying.
that's what I would say too. Look at the trend. Yeah, look at the trend of well accumulation. If the trend is still bullish, then there's nothing to get bearish about it. But this is still the weekly time frame, right? So
Yeah, and it's not on the daily, right?
right.
Which is
And
where I'm seeing more of a
yeah.
overbought scenario.
Yeah, but that's probably how Danny would interpret it. Would be look at the well accumulation trend over the last few weeks. There's still steadily increase, and there's nothing bearish about this chart.
So yeah,
Very
what
nice.
about Danny? It's getting kind of extended from the ribbon though, right?
Well, yes, of course. Short term, it's hard. It's hard to predict, Matt. But I think that the trend is still bullish. So you can look for warning signs from the daily chart and see if you end up having a yellow candle, or if you end up seeing decreasing in the well accumulation on the daily chart, you can trade in and out of it. Some of my followers do that based on my charts. But for me, I think I'm just going to stick. I like the fact that like when I'm pretending to be Danny, like nobody comments on that at all. Everybody's just super awkward about it.
No, I'm laughing. Yeah.
Like there's
great.
like nobody commenting on anyway. Yeah, but I think that's kind of how I would interpret it. Like you can look at the daily for like some tea leaves and trade in and out of it. But but on the higher time frame, like even now is a little bit far away from the red ribbon, sure. But the whale accumulation trend is continuing to go up. Like this fits the whole Bollinger Band theory too. The RSI is also overbought, but it can stay overbought for a very long time. You don't have any bearish diversions right now on the RSI either. Like there's no bearish diversions at all on the weekly time frame. This thing looks very impulsive. I would not want to get in the way.
And if you notice,
I thought your
Palantir,
analogy was good.
Palantir,
Sorry, go ahead, Seth.
When it dips down 1%, maybe 2%, it gets bought back up right away, and so it went rocketed from $27 to $44. It's probably gonna cool off for a little bit, but I wouldn't be a seller. I would just probably dollar cost average, and it's gonna go a lot higher. And then if we get another knock it out of the park earnings like the last one, then sky's the limit.
Yeah, if you want to talk about the fundamentals too, because right now they're actually projecting some pretty impressive growth too, right? You're talking about a company that has like 30 to 35% annual growth, which is incredible as long as they can keep the trajectory up, or if they end up like surprising the upside, because there are a lot of customers that are just coming in and they want Palantir. Like
sorry to interrupt you, Heidi.
Oh no, go ahead, Seth. We want to hear from you. Hadn't heard from you all morning.
No, that's okay. I think I interrupted you earlier.
Yeah, Seth has friends in high places.
So rude.
Yeah.
I'll beat you later. Don't worry about
it. Yeah, Seth has friends at higher places, and like he gets the little birdie going to his ear.
I know.
So,
where's Tesla tracker?
Remember?
Where's?
I'm right here. I was respectfully, staying muted.
I was
okay.
I was just wondering whether or not you're at your most productive place.
If you had a chart,
what do you think?
I'll switch you on.
Yeah, throw up the Palantir chart. It's gonna be a little different than what you guys are saying. Kind of similar to what Heidi's saying.
Yay!
Just let me know what you see.
You guys have been on the same team, though.
I know, right?
All right, so
Tracker is like my buddy. He's my buddy.
We are.
It's always an agreement. Yeah.
Very similar.
Very
minds
close.
here.
Yes, very close.
So let's see. I'll just turn this trend line on.
And by the same team, I do mean heterosexual. No, I'm just kidding. Yeah.
Don't start, Kat.
Okay, sorry.
So from this 604-ish low to this high and then that back to this low. I call this my wave 1 and then wave 2.
Okay.
And this is the minor wave 1 of 3 and wave 2. And I was expecting to go 764, 382, and then 1382. And then that's when I was telling Heidi last time, I think it might be done with 3768 and it would come back to 3159. Instead, it just
kept
hung out here
barreling
for
up.
a long time, and then it just shot up again and went
I
past 132, the 1.5. It paused here on one day for the 1618 on Tuesday, October 8th, and the next day it just kept on going. So now it's topping out at the 1764 extension, 4376. The actual high we got here was like 4440. It looks like, and I hate to scare people, but it should still. I see earnings is coming up here on November 5th. It should still come back, I would think, and test the 100% fib. If this is the wave 1, then you have 1 fib's distance between the wave 1 top and the wave 4 bottom. So that would still be 3159. And then because this went to 1764, from 100%, it should go to the 2764. Up here at, I got to change this, 5969. So that's what I'm predicting now. Though, as I was talking about this, maybe I should just call this the wave 1 and this the wave 2. I don't know. This is what I've got for now. I'd be cautious around here. Let's just do it real quick. If I delete this and I say from about here to there, then it looks like, let's draw it out here. 764. See, it still did more than that. 382.
Tracker, can
132.
wave 3 just do like this parabolic, just off into space, the moon?
Yes,
Yeah, I mean, this could be like a really long wave 3.
Yes, it can.
Yes, it can.
Yes, it can. Wave 3s can extend farther than. I mean, yeah, it doesn't have to
Because they're
stop.
normally the biggest, right? Isn't wave 3? I don't
So
know
you know
enough
what?
about
I'm
Elliott
looking at-
charting.
I'm looking at this where it kind of went 100%. I don't know. Maybe it goes to 1, 2, 3, 6, 618.
Yeah, I think 618 is. I can see potentially 618, but like going back to 0.5 maybe a little bit hard. Like a lot of people are eyeing that gap close, but I just don't see it happening based on price action.
1618. I guess this would make it sort of closer to being a diagonal.
Kat, you're thinking it just barrels up, no pullback?
I'm thinking it does have a pullback, but it might be shallower than what you guys may think.
I'd say this: if it keeps running, like don't just follow what Matt's and Kat are saying. Follow the trend. The trend is still up. Don't try to be cute and short it maybe yet until it actually shows a potential of a downtrend. Maybe this could go all the way. I'm gonna bring my original chart back.
Tracker, is this on
Because I
the
think-
8 hour? I can't.
These
8
are
hour?
this is a 1 day chart. Sorry, this is
Okay.
a 1 day chart. Yeah, let it go to 2, 2, 3, 6. If once it hits low 50s, I'd be really cautious.
Yeah,
I'd be
I
looking for
agree
something
with
to
you.
pull back from.
Yeah,
That would be
I
really
agree with
hot.
you.
You can see my MCDX is just like Danny's. It says like 93% was the last daily candle here.
Yeah, but the irrationality on wave 3 can be quite irrational. Like it doesn't have to follow your resistance levels or anything. It can just keep shooting higher, which is why I also like to look at it. Yeah, parabolic. Which is also why I like to look at the Bollinger Bands because they really do tell me whether or not there's any sign for trend exhaustion. Right now, I'm just not seeing it on a higher time frame.
Okay.
Daily wise, like I can see it pulling down to like 40. Sure, I can see it going down to like high 30s potentially. Sure,
Yeah, that's what I have. I mean, that's what my stochastic is. Showing is just really, really short time frame
Right.
pullback.
Yeah, but do I count on that happening? Not necessarily. Yeah.
the all-time high is $45 even. And usually what these charts like to do is they'll either fall just short of that previous all-time high and then test back, or it'll just extend just slightly over it and then start to test back.
Just to
So
trap
be
all
really
the
careful
bulls.
around. Be really careful around this all-time high, whether it gets slightly above it or a little bit below it.
Just
It
shy of
it
it.
should start to test back down here, and there is this gap. You know, not all gaps get filled, but there is a gap right here, from like 3107 to 3249. Look at the 8-hour chart.
I mean, it's a good.
The
it's a
8-hour
good
charts
trading-
actually, there's not a gap, but it just the people who look at the daily charts only will see a gap. But
Yeah.
there actually is not a gap on the.
It's a
When you
good
look at the pre-market.
it's a good trading idea. It's tough to know if that's what's going to happen because it's just so parabolic, you know.
Yeah.
But I agree. Like if it gets to the 50s, yeah, maybe be a little bit more cautious. I'll tell you, I probably won't take profits even if it is in the 50s unless I see like the Bollinger Band is starting to kind of contract, and if the trend starts to get a little bit exhausted, then I might take some profits. But I'm still eyeing like hard targets because I'm not really trying to trade in and out of this thing. So.
Mm-hmm. So is that just the lower Bollinger Band, Kat, or you were talking about the top as well?
I look at both, and they both tell me something different. The top tells me how parabolic and how overextended it is. The bottom tells me whether or not the trend is experiencing some kind of exhaustion or not. If the lower Bollinger Band continues to expand, then this thing probably has has more room to go up. Like it doesn't just reverse itself like that. Like that's not how the stock market works, you know. So if the lower Bollinger Band continue to expand to the downside, that actually to me means that hey, you know, something is still happening here. But if the lower Bollinger Band starts to like roll back around or starts to contract back up a little bit, that's when I'm thinking, okay, so maybe we're at a little bit of a trend exhaustion. I think we might still have a little bit more room to go up, but it's not going to be as parabolic as it was before anymore, and we might be ready to get flipped.
If it flattens out, is that what you mean, or if it
flattens out, that means that you're starting to see a little bit of trend exhaustion, or if it starts to kind of crawl back in and contract a little bit on the lower Bollinger Band, that's when I'm like, you know, go and look at like the monthly charts for Nvidia and monthly chart for Tesla, and look at the lower Bollinger Band. You see what I mean?
Okay. And what about Matt? Matt, did you have any Palantir?
I mean, I showed everything on my video last night. I'm paying attention to the fibs, but I'm still sticking with the trend regardless because the trend is my friend, and I don't want to get in the way of it. Really.
Okay.
Matt, you're a legend.
He is. That's just fantastic.
I try. Some people were angry that I was more bullish on Tesla before the event, but still, I always said the whole week that going down was bullish and going up was bullish too. So,
yeah, it's funny, Matt. I agree with everything that you post too. Like you're spot on. You really got your finger on the pulse of what's going on.
I try.
And,
can't please everybody.
I mean, yeah, you can't. And that's what makes a market, though. Everyone's different. Everyone trades different. Everyone invests different. Everyone's risk tolerance is different. And it really depends on your personality. I find that the more, if you're just a more hyper person, then you're sort of be trading in and out of stocks. And I find that people like that tend to not do as well. And if you're just a kind of more laid back, calm, patient like me, and all of us, it seems like, then you will do well.
Yeah, I mean, like getting wealthy is a transfer of money from the impatient to the patient, right? That's what Warren Buffett says.
Yeah, exactly.
That's what Warren Buffett says. And yeah, I mean, I can pull up my Palantir chart real quick.
Yeah, as long as you don't show your XRP charts because we need viewers.
Well, we do have a request.
I see one.
How many people have we got in the room today?
I see 1,800 total throughout everything.
Oh, nice.
So I'm not, yeah.
Hello, all.
Hi, 1,800 people.
Yeah, 1,800 on X, but we also have it live streamed to multiple YouTube channels. So
yeah. So yeah, Palantir, I'm sticking with this GAN, and basically I can see, I just, my focus is just maintaining this angle as support. And next week, yeah, the angle does sit down there, maybe around 38. So could it go back down? Yeah, but also this could just go back down to the arc too, around 40, and build a base around there. But my thesis is still just riding this angle up all the way to 100 by September of 2025. That's what I'm considering. And I don't know if I'll take profits anytime soon. Maybe until the arc here, possibly 75. We'll see. But so far so good.
You meant 69. That's what you meant.
Yeah, 69.42.
Yeah.
So
Sure.
Matt,
That's what you meant.
what is your projected by end of 2025?
September of 25. Exactly.
Oh.
101.35.
Nice, because I have 101. Oh, sorry, I have 100. And when Palantir was $7.40, I said, man, this is a $40 stock. And I got
Nobody will believe
heckled
you.
and laughed. Everyone threw rotten tomatoes at me and
Yeah.
disowned me. And yeah, and now I'm saying it's a $100 stock.
Yeah, and the 1.414 from the all-time high extension is exactly 104.21. So it's basically going to go in that range, in my opinion, because I think what we see typically for cycles on log scale from all-time highs down to lows, we kind of see an average of like 1.618, and Bitcoin has done that many times. And Tesla actually has done full extensions before on log scale, which is incredible. But 1.618, I think, is like the average that a lot of stocks do. So that would be $157 Palantir. So, I mean, my range would be anywhere from 100 to 157 in the future.
Nice.
Yeah.
Really nice.
Yeah. So, I mean, that's all we got for today, I think, unless you guys have other things you want to talk about.
Nah.
You want to talk about the Tesla robotaxi event just a little bit more?
Yeah, what do you want to talk about it? Yeah, I mean, go for it.
So
man.
yeah, I think that all the autonomous cyber taxis, they really were just running on autonomous AI as they're supposed to. But I did notice, I think a lot of the Optimus robots were being remote operated, but that's really cool because it just shows how you can do telepresence now with this Optimus robot. You can send it into a hazardous environment, like say like an oxygen deprived environment or something, and operate the robot as if you were there yourself with your own hands, and you can turn your head and have the same awareness of what's going around you. You can be somewhere else physically and alter that world physically without having to be there with your actual body. That's really cool.
And what about doing the dishes and clothes? I mean, come on, truck.
I think about
I'm waiting.
Scientific
I'm waiting for
application.
mine to like cook me dinner and jump rope. Cook me dinner. Yeah.
It's gonna be hard to slap that robot in the butt to tell it what to do, though. It's gonna be like, I don't know. They probably need like a cushion on the butt, and that's where the activation button should be. Like, hey, get me a beer, or like.
I worked in the pharmaceutical manufacturing industry for a little while, and they spend like half your workday is just getting into gowning, sterile gowning, and getting into the sterile core to do your work, and then getting back out. Now, if you had robots that were just in there, and all you have to do is go into the operator station, and never have to gown up and go inside the sterile area. One, all the sterile areas remain super sterile because humans are the dirtiest thing that go into sterile areas. And then two, you just get to work so much more efficiency because you never have to go through all that gowning up and then degowning to go in and out of the sterile space. For scientific, and then working on, think about the movie Outbreak, and they have to put on all those protective suits to work with the terrible viruses and stuff, or even just to go in to a place where there's a terrible outbreak. They can send, you can go in telepresence with robots, and you don't even have to travel, right? You just have robots all over the world, and if you just need to suddenly be somewhere, you could just boot up that robot, and now you're.
I can't wait. I can't wait. I want my own robot now. I want to know when Tesla is allowing me to buy. Like, I would buy it tomorrow.
I know it's so, and then people do like vacation house swapping. You can just do robot swapping. Like, okay, I'll let you borrow my robot here in North
No,
Carolina.
no, 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 no.
And you can walk
No
around.
one's
And,
borrowing my robot. I want my own robot that
now
I get to train.
you can borrow
Rob,
someone else's robot in Giza, and you can like look at the Great Pyramids.
if Heidi's
Right.
trained her robot to skip rope, she's not trading up.
No,
Robotic monogamy. That's what this
Yeah.
is called. Yeah.
that's that's right. I want my own Optimus. Yeah.
Well, but the good
Well,
thing is
some
that,
people.
yeah.
I'm
this-
sorry. I'll just finish this. My
Yeah.
point was just that some people looked at that and thought, "Oh no, they're just faking it with people." But it's actually cooler than just having the robots working autonomously. Is that we'll have the robots
they
working
were
autonomously.
making drinks.
Plus,
It was
you can operate them
crazy.
remotely.
It probably won't make much economic sense over the next 5 years. To get one. If they sell one, it probably the upfront cost is going to be like pretty high. But I think it's the concept is the idea that matters, and this company is going to be around for a very long time. So and also just to go segue, just because I'm a weirdo. No STDs with robots. I mean, unless you believe,
you are
unless if you
such.
unless if
You
you
are
believe
such a
in the
weirdo.
whole
Cat, you,
like
you
toilet
had to
seat
go
thing.
there.
Yeah, unless
I know,
you believe in
right?
the whole toilet seat thing, like no STDs with robots.
Think
So
about
anyway.
this
I
as an
just wanna say
investment.
this.
If you bought the original Optimus, it would be a collector's item in the years to come. It would probably be worth a lot of money.
That's true.
Yeah, and it'll save you money if you have children. You could watch your kids, and no need for like a
Yeah.
babysitter or anything, or
Or a
nobody
housekeeper.
or housekeeper. Yeah, it could just
I mean, a
clean your house
housekeeper
24 hours
cost
a
you,
day.
yeah, like $65,000 a year, and you
Yeah.
just buy this robot who will do all your clothes, cook all dinners. Like I have I need it now.
Yeah.
Do
I
I
need
have
a
to
robot
worry
now.
about?
Paraphrasing Elon Musk, he did say like he thinks originally the first robots will cost about $20,000 to $30,000, but
I might get two.
as he automates the process of making the robot, and the only cost is the materials and the energy to make the robots, and you don't have to pay people to make them. It's just all automated. He's just got like an assembly line that makes them. The cost just goes down and down and down. They get cheaper and cheaper the more he makes. And the more
I-
robots he has, the more robots he can make. And it just
I
becomes
guess
like
I
that. That
worry
paper
about
making
the
nanobot
AI capability
simulation.
getting. So
It becomes a
good
cookie
that-
clicker game.
Yeah, and eventually you could just buy property and have robots build a new house for you while you're like on vacation or something.
On vacation at the beach.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I guess I just worry that AI gets so good that they become more like human, and and you have to worry about their feelings. That's all.
Well, maybe they can help you.
Have you guys
they
Don't,
can
seen
help
don't
that?
make fun of them then.
They'll help you.
Yeah, they can help train us with to handle intimacy issues better.
Yeah.
And all you
Alright.
guys need work on that. I just want to add.
The
Well,
robot.
I have no
Thank
problems.
you.
I have no problems with intimacy. Wait, no. Anyway, yeah. All right.
Yeah,
we got,
Robots or people, Kat? Robots or
robots are people. What?
Yeah, and
Yeah,
you can get a
I was
cat
asking.
robot too.
yeah,
Oh,
cat or
yeah.
dog
Well, for
robot.
factories for all sorts of stuff. Robot dogs, robot
Yeah.
cats, robot lizards.
Astro
well,
Boy.
I mean, I'm quite robotic in general, so I guess I'm. Yeah. But with that said, I gotta pee.
Did
and I
anybody
think it's been 2
buy-
hours. So
Did anybody buy the dip on
Did anybody
Friday?
buy-
Yeah, I did.
Yeah,
I couldn't.
okay.
I couldn't control
Yeah.
myself.
I did. Yeah,
Me
not
too.
not
I
a whole
bought
lot. but I
long
did.
leaps 2 years
I'm
out.
buying the dip on Monday.
The miners look
Yeah,
so
the stock might go
good.
down a couple
I
more
just
The
percent.
miners.
shaved like 5% off of all my miner positions to buy more TSLL, the 2x
Yeah.
bullish ETF of Tesla.
All right, guys, I'm gonna go pee. It's been
All right.
2 hours.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, it's been 2 hours, guys. So we'll just end it here, and we'll see you next Saturday. Yeah.
Yeah. Yep.
Thanks, guys. It was
Yep.
fun.
Hugs and
Alright.
kisses to everyone.
Guys,
Thank
have
you
a
for
good one.
joining.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
I'm
Bye,
so glad to
guys.
see that most of you were safe from the storm.
Bye, Seth. Bye,
Yep. Stay
Tracker.
safe. Bye, everybody.